Okay, I'm here today. I got 2007 Toyota Tacoma. Going to change the intermediate steering shaft. I looked online, couldn't find nothing on it, so I just figured I'd post something for you guys. Okay, there's the intermediate steering shaft. Okay, you got two bolts on top there. They're 12 millimeter. You got a 12 millimeter bolt on the bottom that hooks to your rack and pinion. The first thing to do is lube them up real good and clean everything up. They're really hard to get off if they've been on there for years. It's a job to get everything loose. Okay, there's the lower bolt and everything for the intermediate steering shaft that you have to take loose. The first thing to do is take those two bolts there out, and you have to knock that thing up on the steering wheel shaft. Here's a good view of the intermediate shaft bolt and everything where it connects to the rack and pinion. You have to take that bolt out, and then you see where you put a screwdriver in there and bend the tube out in order to get it off the splines. Okay, now you see the little gap there. Get your screwdriver in there right like that. Make sure you hit it long ways. Don't hit it towards the spline or you'll mess the splines up on your rack and pinion. Okay, now you just want to take a hammer, hit it a couple times and spread it apart, and that's it. Now you've got that done. Next thing to do is go to the top and unloosen them bolts and knock the coupling up off the shaft. The next step is loosen these two bolts on the top. Also, when accessing these, it's easier to use a ratchet wrench to get them to stay on there and take them out easier. The next step is to get your big screwdriver in here, or whatever you got. Loosen up a little bit. Now the next thing is to take a hammer. Knock it up till you can get it out of there. Now it's time to go underneath it and get the bottom. It's actually easier to knock this off from the bottom than up there. And there you go. There's the shaft now. There's the shaft. Now it's time to take the lower off. Now here's the trick to it all. Okay, I can't hold the camera and do everything, so the intermediate steering shaft is pulled up against the motor mount there, and I put a long bar on it like that. I can put pressure on that bar and I just smack the end of that intermediate shaft where it goes on the rack and pinion. Just tap against it and it will break loose. Once it breaks loose, you go to the other end and take a punch and knock it off. I'll show you how. Now if you look, you can see where the intermediate shaft is broke loose now. Now you take the pry bar you got on off, get to the front and hit it with a punch. Okay, when I took the shaft off mine, my intermediate steering shaft come completely off. Okay, if it don't come off after you done what I showed you to do, right there is the rack and pinion spline that the intermediate shaft goes on. This is the top view. If you will get in the front, once you get it broke loose, you can knock it right off. Okay, if you look on the intermediate shaft that hooks to the steering wheel on the top, it's got a place for the bolt to go through. That goes on the front side of that coupling right there. So you have to look how the bolt's going through and line that up with it as you put it on. It goes on the rack and pinion on the bottom first. It goes right there. Right there's the rack and pinion. It goes on it first, and then you put it up on that. But you gotta help line up your bolt hole on the top as you go. Okay, once you get the bottom on, this top has got to be lined up right. You can take it, pull down and shake it like this and get the spline started good. You'll feel the hole and everything is already up there. It only go on one way. These holes have to be up right with the bolt holes. So once you get it started and you can feel where it's already at the bolt hole, you can take a hammer, knock this way on there, and it's easy to do. But if you shake it out like this and pull it down, it will get started on there like that. And then all you gotta do is knock it on there and put your bolts on and you're done. Now once you come back to the top and beat that down on there, if you look, you can see the cut where the bolt goes through on the top and bottom. Make sure they're lined up. Your bolt should just slide straight through. The next thing is put your bolts in. Make sure they go in easy. They should go all the way in until they start threading without any resistance. They don't thread to the other side, so they should go in about a 1/4 inch or so with no problem. Like this, see? That's it. Now you put your bolt back in your bottom, bolt it back to the rack and pinion, and you're done. Also, you don't have to worry about getting your steering wheel tied off or anything like that. You can actually just lock it in place. As long as you don't jack the vehicle up and move the wheels, and you don't mess with your steering wheel, everything will line up perfect. Just make sure your steering wheel locks before you start. And you don't jack the vehicle up and get the wheels off the ground, don't move the vehicle's wheels or anything. Everything is lined up perfect. Thank you, and have a good day.